Welcome to New Sky TV videos. Today I would like to introduce to you gentle stories about love and sweet moments of famous people. Wang, Yiran and Meng are killing it. These three short dramas are going viral. The CP pairing of Wang, Yiran and Meng has taken the internet by storm, with over 3.5 billion views across all three series. From You Are My Mole, where Fu Wenai secretly pays medical bills with red eyes, to After Marriage, Big Boss, where Lin Chen pretends to be poor but flirts with her 53 times, to Monday, where Gu Yanchen curses 6 times but wives his sweat 3 times, every detail makes people laugh and cry, and feel so real that it seems like it's happening right next to them. This is the kind of love the audience wants, not overly harsh when it's abusive, not overly sweet when it's sweet, and it makes your heart race. Family, check it out. Wang, Yiran and Meng are a perfect match. You Are My Mole has only been online for 10 days, and its single platform views have soared to 500 million. The sweet clips from After Marriage, spoiled by the Big Boss, have been shared over 3 million times on Douyin. Even my aunt, who usually only watches family dramas, asks me every day, "Have you updated on that young couple today?" These 3 dramas have been viewed over 3.5 billion times online. The comments are locked in on this couple, but the screen is blurry. Today, I'll uncover the hidden magic of this pairing, keeping viewers hooked. You Are the Mole on my poem. The heartbreaking reunion of a broken heart has viewers weeping until they can't even pull out tissues. Zhang Yuan held the employment letter from Fu Group, her hands wet with sweat. 5 years ago, she had knelt before Fu Wenai and declared, "I don't love you at all," then turned and took the breakup fee he gave her, saving a family on the verge of bankruptcy. Now her mother was seriously ill, and the doctor said she would stop taking her medication if she didn't pay. She could only ask Fu Wenai's mother, the woman who had said, "You're not worthy of my son." On my first day at work, I met Fu Wenai. He stared at the work card on her chest and sneered, "Assistant Zhang is very capable. Can he come back to be a dog after he leaves?" But no one knew. After he turned and entered the office, he took out the keychain she gave him 5 years ago from the deepest part of the drawer, and the worn corners of his fingertips were polished. There was a scene where a colleague deliberately poured hot coffee on her documents. When Zhang Yuan squatted on the ground to pick up the paper, Fu Wenai's leather shoes suddenly stopped in front of her. He did not speak, but bent down to take off his suit and covered her trembling shoulders. After the show was broadcast, the topic of Fu Wenai is hard on the outside but soft on the inside directly rushed to the hot search. Some viewers captured his red eyes when he turned around, and the comment area quarreled for more than 10,000 times. The most damaging episode was episode 15. Zhang Yuan was on guard in the hospital. She felt someone covering her with a blanket in a daze. She opened her eyes and saw Fu Wenai wearing a mask and holding a thermos bucket in his hand. "How did you get here?" He was so panicked that he almost dropped the bucket and stammered, "I was just passing by." But the black chicken and wolfberry soup in the bucket was the taste that her mother had mentioned 3 times when she was in the hospital. Later, the nurse revealed that for the past 5 months, a man dressed in black had come every weekend to cover the hospital bill, adding 5,000 yuan each time, saying, "I'm afraid it's not enough." After the story broke, Fu Wenyi secretly loved the ceiling garnered over 400 million views. One viewer calculated that he stared at Zhang Yuan an average of 4 times per episode, yet secretly shielded her from trouble 9 times. "It's so cruel, I want to throw a knife, so sweet I want to knock it off," the audience unanimously declared, spoiled. By the boss. After Marriage, the fake poor boy turned out to be a billionaire CEO, and he sprinkled sugar on the dead. When Su Yiran brought the red book home, he was still laughing at the peeling of Lin Chen's shirt. "Husband, is your programmer salary enough to support me?" He scratched his head and smiled, "It should be enough if you save some money." As a result, in the second week after marriage, she casually said that the milk tea downstairs in the company was too expensive. The next day, the store changed its sign. The new boss shouted with a loudspeaker, "Ems. Su Yiran, drink for free." While browsing her mobile phone, she glanced at the limited edition wallet twice. The courier delivered it to the door on the 3rd day, and Lin Chen was still stubborn. Pinduoduo grabs it for 9.9 yuan. Once, when buying vegetables in the supermarket, Su Yiran, played by Meng, felt that 45 kilograms of spare ribs was too expensive. When she put it down, she sighed. Lin Chen, played by Wang Yiran, took advantage of her back and secretly stuffed the most expensive box into the shopping cart. This segment of footage was highly praised on Douyin, and netizens found that Wang Yiran couldn't hide the smile on the corners of his mouth during this period. What's more important is episode 10, Su Yiran worked overtime in the middle of the night. Lin Cheng came to pick her up in a second-hand electric car. In the heavy rain, he covered her with his raincoat and poured into the chicken soup, but the camera turned, his Rolls-Royce was parked on the side of the road, and the driver waited for 2 hours with an umbrella. Every episode of the show has a famous scene. Suzy Yiran complained to the landlord about the rent increase, and the next day the agent called and said, "The house belongs to you." That afternoon, another company declared bankruptcy, and she was harassed by the client, who said, "No one would even look at your plan." According to audience statistics, Lin Cheng inadvertently showed off his wealth 53 times, and each time the screen was flooded with the comments. One fan left a message saying, "While watching the show, my boyfriend suddenly asked me, 'Do you want to buy your building now?' He's kneeling on the keyboard." This comment received $300,000 in praise. Meeting you on Monday. Happy enemies quarrel with each other, and the love in the hospital is so good. When Shaziayu, a nurse in the neurology department, met plastic surgeon Gu Yanchen for the first time, she sprinkled iodine on his white coat. "Don't you have eyes when you walk?" He frowned and scolded her, and she replied, "It's better than some people who have a bad face all day long." From then on, the hospital corridor became a battlefield. He thought she injected the patient too strongly. She smiled and said that his hands were shaking when he was removing stitches for the beauty. He complained that her duty room was like a garbage dump. She exposed that he secretly hid snacks in the office. Once during the ward rounds, Xiaoziahui was kicked by a crying child. Gu Yanchen said, "You deserve it," but took out a candy from his pocket, stuffed it into the child and said, "Spank you again," turned around and handed Xiaoziahui a bag of anti-swelling ointment with a crooked smiley face drawn on the package. The turning point was in episode 8, the hospital received a seriously injured person in a car accident. Xiaoziahui pressed the bleeding wound, and Gu Yanchen took the scalpel, and the two glanced at each other. He knew what the other person was going to do. He said forceps, and she immediately handed it over. She said blood pressure's dropping, and he said, without looking up, "Prepare the adrenaline." After the rescue was successful, they leaned against the wall, catching their breath. Xiaoziahui found his white coat stained with her blood. He touched the back of her scratched hand and said, "How stupid." But his mouth curled up to the sky. After the show aired, the video of Gu Yanchen's heart-stirring moments has been viewed over 20 million times on Bilibili. One viewer counted that he scolded Xiaoziahui 6 times in that episode, but wiped her sweat 3 times. The most touching scene is the night shift scene. Xiaoziahui was so hungry that she's gnawing on bread, and Gu suddenly hands her an insulated box from behind, containing her favorite shrimp dumplings. "Don't get me wrong, there are plenty in the cafeteria," he said, turning to leave, but she grabbed him and said, "Dr. Gu, do you like me?" He froze in place, his ears red as blood, and after a long pause, he muttered, "You're overthinking it." The next day, a colleague caught him secretly putting honey in Xiaoziahui's water cup in the duty room. The show's compilation of fighting scenes has now been viewed over 1 billion times on Kuaishou. One nurse commented, "Isn't this everyday life in our department? It's so sweet, I want to be in a relationship." After watching all 3 dramas, I finally understand why audiences are going crazy. Wang Yiran and Meng Na's greatest strength is their ability to make love seem real. Fu Wenai's forbearance in the poem of Vermilion Mole, Lin Chen's clumsy doting in The Big Boss after marriage, and Gu Yanchen's duplicity in Monday. Every detail seems to be happening right next to us, leaving us both amused and heartbroken. In reality, what audiences want is never complicated, no fussing during the abuse, no over-the-top sweetness, just like the saying in Monday, if you like someone, just say it, don't be shy. The love stories in these 3 dramas, with tears, giggles, misunderstandings, and forgiveness, are far more real than those ethereal idol dramas. These 3 dramas are still being updated. I wait eagerly every day. Sometimes I feel foolish, but when I see Wang Yiran and Meng Na in the same frame, I can't help but follow my heartbeat. Perhaps this is the magic of a good drama. Without the need for grand morals, people can trust the subtle beauty of love.